Hey everyone, this is Patrick with Univium. Today I'm just going to show you a real quick and simple automation to pull um, data from an Instagram user's profile into Google Sheets using make.com and Apify. And so I'll give you a quick overview of what this is going to look like as the end result. Essentially, we have a Google Sheet here with just a bunch of profile handles for Instagram users that you can populate on your own. Our automation is going to go through, it's going to populate the followers, number of people they're following, and the number of posts they have for each of these users. And so we use make.com and we use Apify. And so to show you what this is going to look like, make sure I have my data cleared up. It's going to run through here just this one time. We have it where it will uh, pull from sheets. It'll execute an actor in Apify, which sometimes that can take a minute to run. So we have a sleep for about 60 seconds, and then we pull the data set. And so if we go in here, we see in Apify that actor is actually running currently. And it looks like it just finished, but we're just going to go ahead and leave it to where it takes its time, because again, this will be an automation. You won't have to do this on your own or anything along those lines. And so we'll let that come through. I'm wondering if I set it for a little bit longer than a minute. There we go. Okay, so now that went through, and we can go back and see that this data is updated for these profiles. Now, keep in mind, there's a lot more you can do with this type of automation. Obviously, this is a very simplistic version, but could be a strong foundation for a larger project maybe that you're working on. So I figured I'd walk y'all through it. So now I'm just going to kind of walk you through setting up this project just from the beginning. Um, we have this blank sheet. I already added these headers in here. You'll want to add those in manually. Add in all the Instagram profile handles you want to have manually. I think I might have had some blank rows there earlier. I'm just going to delete that just in case. And so first thing we're going to want to do is pull from Google Sheets, search rows. And you can do this however you like. I typically like to take this spreadsheet ID here, put that in there. And we can do sheet name. Okay. And we're going to look at where last update is, let's see, is less than. This depends on how long you want it to run, but let's say we want it to run every 10 hours or so. I could have done hours, but that'll work. And then we also want to look at where these records just haven't been updated at all. And so that'll pull all of that in. And so just for this case, we're going to limit it to 3. That way we don't have to do anything dynamic with, how long it takes to run. But you can add that. You can do as many as you want. I'm just going to do it for this example. And so we'll save that. Make sure that connection works. Is it pulling our data in? It is. And so I'm going to skip ahead just a little bit, and we're going to look at the run actor part of it. You'll have to create, for the Apify module, you'll have to create a connection, which means you have to get an account and get an API key, which if you go to settings right here, go to this API and integrations tab, it'll give you an API key you can use. I'm not going to go there now because I think it has my user ID on there or something. But that'll give you what you need. And then you can select your actor. For this one, what we're choosing is this fast Instagram profile stats checker, which is free up to I think the first $5, which I've run it over 100 times. I'm only at 13 cents. So it'll give you a lot of good free runs in there, and seems pretty affordable if you want to use it long term. So we have that, and then let's just do a test run real quick. So I'm going to paste some code in here. I'm going to try and put this in the description, but essentially, if you go to this actor on here, it'll show you, okay, so this is like what we can do if you want to run it manually. If you pull the JSON, which I wish it had a copy button here. It does not. It'll show you, this is how you do the proxy, because I think it's a web crawler, and then you can put in a list of URLs here. And then this information tab kind of shows, okay, so if you want to do multiple profiles, multiple URLs all in one call, you have a list. So we're just going to do just one test real quick to make sure this works. Okay. We're going to run that by itself. You see that it ran. You're going to go here to runs. Just to double check, make sure we have our syntax right. And you can see that execution just started the crawler. It ran, it succeeded. So that's perfect. But what we want to do is we need it to be more dynamic. We need to be able to do multiple users, all at once. So what we're going to do, we're pulling in multiple rows, but we want to aggregate that up into a comma-separated list of URLs. That way we can do a call all at once. Let's do text aggregator. Slash profile handle. Make sure there's no white space in there. Nope, I guess we're good. I didn't realize I had my screen zoomed in so much. Okay. And we're going to do comma, because it's comma separated. That'll make it a comma separated list. So you'll see now we have comma separated list, more or less. If I downloaded that, you'll be able to see it where it's not cut off. But then it's going to have a comma at the end there. So what we're going to want to do is do tools, set variable. Variable name is going to be URLs. And we're going to do, we want to get rid of that last character, which is going to be that last comma. If anyone has an easier way to do this, I'd like to know. There probably is. I probably didn't think about it too hard, but we're going to do, so this is substring. We're just going to get all the characters except the last one. In order to see what the last character is, we're going to do length. Here we go. We're going to do text. Sorry, my computer's glitching out a little bit right now. Okay, text. And then we're going to do, you have to use this arithmetic operator. So we're getting the length, and we're going to subtract 1, and that's going to give us all characters except for that last one. So that's going to set that. I feel like I'm forgetting something here. I don't think I am. So we're going to go ahead and throw this in there, see what it does. Okay. So we'll run that, see if it pulls through. It looks like it ran, showing as it ran on our end. And then it's starting the crawler right here. So while that crawls, we'll check back in a second. But I'm going to go ahead and add this next part of the automation is because it takes a couple seconds to crawl, we're going to add a sleep function of, let's just say 60 seconds. And then after it crawls, we want to do an Apify call to get dataset items. And what we're going to do is when we run this actor, it gives us this default dataset ID to pull the data from this execution. So we're going to get dataset ID, default dataset ID, put that there. And then after that, we're going to have our dataset items, and I think that's what we're gonna run next. I probably should have run that already, but oh man, I wonder why that failed. Okay. Let's check the syntax. Got that all right. I don't think it's going to be a case sensitivity issue, but just in case it is. Have that there. It's possible I just did too many calls in the past however long. So checking a few more things. Checking for white spaces. I don't think there are any. And I'm going to check. Check timeout. The last thing I'm going to check, make sure we don't have any white spaces here, which I don't think we do. Okay. Let's try this one more time, just see. While that's running, let's see, I'm going to go back to runs and see if I can look at the ones that did succeed and look at their input. And let's just take a screenshot and see if I can compare that to a previous one that did not run. Here we go. I'm screen recording, and I guess it doesn't like me to take screenshots, but it'll come up in a second. Okay. Let's go back. Looks like it succeeded this time. So if we go back, it's going to run through. Yep. So it succeeded, and we see that we're getting our data now, and it's pulling everyone in. So now we're going to add this final last part of the automation. We're going to search rows, select all, spreadsheet ID. But yeah, sometimes if you run it too much too quickly, you hit a rate limit or whatnot. So you can just run it, have it run every so often. where profile handle equals username, because that's what we're wanting. Yep. And then we're going to update rows. Can never remember which one. Row number. This is the part I got mixed up on last time. So make sure we don't take the values from the sheets. We want to take the data we're trying to get, the followers, following, and posts from the Apify data. And then we want to set a last updated value to now. Yep. I think that's what we want. And so, all right. So this will be the final test run. Make sure our data is clear, nothing's updated, and hopefully it runs successfully. So we got about a minute to watch it. While that's running, I am curious. This one that failed, I'm going to go back and see what our input was. Now it looks like our input was fine. I'm thinking it was a some other error on their end. I'm not too familiar with their setup here on the back end, so hard to say for sure. All right, looks like they succeeded. Now that doesn't pull it into here. That just says it succeeded on that end. But once this stops running, then we will be in business. So does this look even? Doesn't look even. I'm afraid if I auto align, my thing is going to glitch. There we go. Yeah, no, and like I said, this is just part of a, kind of be a foundation to part of a larger automation if you're looking to build something. But yeah, so you can see it searched our rows, it updated our rows, moment of truth. And let's see, our data is there. So yeah, so that's how you can automate the process of pulling data from Instagram profiles into Google Sheets and then do with it as you please. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment or go to my website, univium.com, and feel free to reach out if you need help on anything. Otherwise, thank y'all very much. Take care.